Good morning. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the EQ Skills Clinic. I am so excited that you are joining us. Let me make sure all my notifications are turned off here on my computer so I don't get all kinds of dings and things like that. Welcome back, EQ Skills Clinic. I know we have a bunch of new faces here inside the EQ Lab. It's so amazing to welcome so many new members every single week. I think every day we get new members coming into the EQ Lab. So we feel very, very honored that you have chosen to spend some time with us inside this group. I think it is an incredible community of women that are really all about leveraging emotional intelligence in order to achieve their goals, in order to reach that next level of success, in order to really show up as their best selves in every aspect of their lives. So I'm so honored that you've chosen to spend some time with us. As people are jumping on, I would love it if you could let me know if you are brand new around here. Give me a hello, introduce yourself. We are grateful for each and every one of you. Oh, Barishte, so nice to see you. And if you have been hanging around here for a while, like our good friend Farishte, then let me know as well. Say hello. And if you're catching us on the replay, as so many of you do, give me a hashtag replay so that I know that you are catching us later. If you've got any questions, drop them into the comments for us. Myself and my team always circle back to have a look at your questions, your comments, all the good things. So let me quickly introduce myself and then introduce the EQ Skills Clinic and our topic for today. My name is Dr. Shyamala. I spent almost 20 years, that makes me feel old, but I spent almost 20 years as a psychotherapist and specifically as a couple and family therapist. My doctoral degree is actually in working systemically with couples and families. I'm a podcast host. I've been a media expert for the last over 10 years now. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I'm also the founder of two practices. One is at the Kiru Psychotherapy Clinic. We are a virtual practice. We serve individuals, couples, and families all across Canada. I no longer practice psychotherapy one-to-one, but I have an amazing, amazing team of clinicians that deliver absolutely exceptional care. And I'm also the founder of the Kiru Coaching Clinic, where we deliver a 6-month coaching program specifically for women who want to leverage emotional intelligence, who really want to dial in their emotional intelligence skills. That program is called the EQ Code. You will often hear me and my team talking about that program. It's something that we are very, very proud of. We're proud of the results that we are able to deliver within 6 months using a very specific and proven framework. So if you have any questions about any of that, don't ever hesitate to ask us. You can reach out to myself. You can reach out to Brianna, who is almost always on these lives with me. Cheyenne, it's so great to see you. It's nice to see you here. It's been a busy fall, my friends. I can't believe it is 3rd week of September. Let me know how you're feeling. I've been saying it for the last few lives. For me, the fall, it always reminds me, I don't know if this is good or bad, but it reminds me that we're in the last quarter of the year. We're in the last quarter of 2021, which always makes me think about 2022. What are our goals? What are our intentions? Where do we want to be in 2022? And one of the things I talk about often is the fact that the decisions that we make today, the commitments that we make today, the things that we put into practice today ultimately determine our results and our reality 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, a year down the road. So if there is anything that you're struggling with, if there is anything that you want to be different in your life, moving forward, today's the day to start making those decisions that are really going to impact your tomorrow. And that could really be anything. It could be personal, it could be professional, but we really want to make sure that we are being intentional about our results and our reality in the future. So let me jump into today's teaching. If this is your first time inside the EQ Skills Clinic, we do a free teaching every single week. You're going to want to stay tuned until the end of today's teaching because I'm going to tell you all about this like intensive that we have going on next week. So it's not just one day of free teaching. We have 5 days of completely free teaching next week for you. So just stay tuned to the end of today's live to learn more about that. But typically, what we do every Thursday inside the EQ Lab is we deliver teaching on a specific area of emotional intelligence. And today is no different. Today, we are going to be looking at relationship skills or relationship management skills. So, if you think about emotional intelligence, there's sort of two halves to it, and those halves are split into different areas. One of those halves of emotional intelligence is all about self awareness and self management. The other half of emotional intelligence is all about relationship management. So, today we're going to look at relationship skills, and specifically, we're going to be talking about love languages. So, if you are inside, whether it's inside the Facebook group, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that through this week, we've been talking about love languages and we've had quite a bit of engagement around this particular topic. And I think the reason it is so interesting to people is because once we begin to identify the different love languages, it's pretty easy to locate ourselves within these different ways of expressing and receiving love, right? So that's how I want you to think about love languages. Okay. It really what a love language is. It's the way that you express love, and it's also the way that you like to receive love. Well, today, as we talk about love languages, I want to make this super practical, and I want to help you to understand why, despite all the research, despite all the literature that we have out there around love languages, despite all of that, I want you to understand why it is that we often still get stuck or what I call lost in translation when it comes to love languages. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. So let's start with a little bit of background. There are 5 universal love languages. Okay. And the idea of love languages was actually introduced by Gary Chapman in his New York Times bestseller. It's a book called The 5 Love Languages. And this concept is widely used by couples therapists. And I actually think it's widely used in mainstream media as well. So it's probably not a concept that is completely unfamiliar to you. What I want to introduce you to today, though, however, is how to actually use love languages to create more connection in your relationships. So let's first start by just simply going over what the 5 love languages are. So the very first one is words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. So this is essentially expressing your love, your care, your commitment verbally. So using words to actually express that. So that could be spoken, right? You could speak words of affirmation. You could also write words of affirmation. That could be sending text to your partner. It could be writing a card. It could be back in the day, we used to write love letters, right? So those are all ways that words of affirmation can be utilized to express love and commitment. So typically what happens is these words of affirmation, they might build your partner's self-confidence. A simple, you look great, can really sort of enhance that feeling of love and connection in a relationship. So that's words of affirmation. The next love language is quality time. And I feel like this is one that's often overlooked. I think we're often familiar with expressing love through words, using words to express love. But quality time is another really important way of expressing love. So this is expressing your love and your commitment simply by spending time together. Okay. So for some, when it comes to quality time, it can be be something as simple as sitting in a room together. I have often used this example of my relationship with my partner, where he's a sports guy, or he likes to watch these crime shows. So he'll sit and watch TV. I'll be in the living room with him. We'll be in the room together, but I might be reading or I might be listening to a podcast. But for him, quality time is a love language. And so simply sitting in a room together feels very connecting to him. It feels like we are spending time together. We're in each other's presence. We're kind of chilling. We're relaxing. We're enjoying the space together. So that's what quality time might look like. For some others, it might actually be engaging in an activity together. But in essence, when you're looking at quality time as a love language, it is spending time together that's sort of uninterrupted, that's protected, and it's you really being in each other's presence. The third love language is gifts. Gifts. And I'm going to tell you what gifts is all about in just a moment. But the interesting thing about gifts is actually one of my daughter's love languages. And it doesn't necessarily mean big, extravagant gifts. I just dropped her off to school a few moments ago before coming in to do this live. And one of the things that my daughter and I have agreed to, and one of the things that we try to do on a weekly basis, is if we've had a really great week, we celebrate by driving into Starbucks on the way to school. And we'll pick up, one of her favorite drinks. I'll probably grab a coffee. We might grab like a little treat, something to eat. But that for her is, she feels really loved. She feels really loved and taken care of when we celebrate with a small gift like that, right? So just keeping in mind that gifts doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be something extravagant. It can be something as small as, grabbing a treat, right? Grabbing a special drink, a small token, even, right? If I get my daughter a candy bar that she really enjoys, she feels so loved. Like, I will get a million thank yous when I get her a small gift just to let her know I was thinking about her. You're special to me. You're important to me. So expressing your love and commitment by giving, it can be small gifts, small tokens of love, of appreciation. So it's not about the monetary value of the gift, but it's the act of giving that counts here. And so for the person whose love language is gifts, when you share that token, when you share that that small gift with them, for them it's, wow, you thought about me, right? You thought about me. I'm important to you. I feel so loved by you right now. So gifts is the third love language. The fourth one is actually my husband's love language. It's not mine, it's his. Acts of service. Acts of service is the fourth love language. Expressing your love and commitment by doing tasks, doing tangible things for the other person. So, for example, it could be filling up their gas tank. It could be making their favorite meal. It could be vacuuming, something as simple as vacuuming. I still remember early on in my relationship with my partner, he was having this super crazy time at work. And I also think one of his love languages is a clean house. But I remember he, was so busy and he was like working long hours. And I was really busy as well, working a lot of hours. And I knew he had an extra long day. And when I came home from work that day, I cleaned the bathroom. I cleaned the bathroom because I know for him, the first thing he likes to do when he comes home is to take a shower. That's kind of his way of unwinding and kind of resetting for the day, for the evening, sorry. And I remember that day so well. I'd clean, and it's not, acts of service, not my love language, not a big deal to me, but I knew that he was going to feel loved and cared for if I did this act of service for him. And of course, when he came downstairs after taking a shower, he said, "Thank you so much. It felt so great to go into the bathroom today after work." So an act of service can be something, again, really small, but it's the act of doing a task for the other person that leaves them feeling cared for. It leaves them feeling loved. It often can also invite them into this feeling of, I'm important to you. I'm important enough to actually do something for you. Okay. Oh, for you to do something for me, I should say. I should put it that way. The final love language is physical touch. And I think this is another one that we're quite familiar with. This is one of my love languages is physical touch. And this is expressing your love and your commitment through touch, through hugs, through kisses. It doesn't necessarily have to be a deeply physically intimate touch. It can be a very small touch, right? As I dropped my daughter off to school this morning, kiss on the forehead, right? It could be something very small, but it's those sort of tender moments of physical touch that if that is your love language, you will feel deeply connected. You will feel very loved by that other person. And so it's important to just keep in mind that this is not necessarily, sexual intimacy. So for some, being physical and or being sexually intimate is a very important expression of love, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. So it's important to just keep that in mind with physical touch. So those are the five love languages. We have words of affirmation, we have quality time, we have gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So here's how you can determine what your love language is, because I think that's an important place to start. I think it's important to understand what your love language is, but I don't think that's where we should stop. And I'll explain to you a little bit more what I mean by that. But first, let's start by how do you determine what your love language is? What are some of the questions that you can begin to ask yourself that will really help you to understand your love language? So you can ask yourself, how do I express love to others? Okay. What do I most long for from others? What do I look for from others? And what do I complain about the most, right? Do I complain that, you never tell me how you feel about me? Do I complain about we never do anything together? Do I complain about, you know, um, I wish we could just cuddle more on the couch. What do you most complain about? So those are three questions you can ask yourself that can actually help you to determine what your love language is. So, if we have clarity around our own love language, one of the things I've noticed though is it can still be difficult to connect to our partners or to connect to our loved ones. And why is that? Why is it that despite our own understanding about our own love language, why is it that we can still have difficulty connecting with others? So here is the reason. So for most people, instead of expressing our partner's love language, what we tend to do is we express our love language and we hope that our partner will reciprocate. So let me say that again because it's important you understand this piece. So we have our own love languages. Our partner has their own love languages, okay? Instead of expressing our partner's love language, because remember, our partner's love language is how they feel loved. It's how they feel connected. It's how they feel safe in a relationship. So instead of expressing our partner's love language, what we most often do, almost always, is we naturally will express our own love language and we hope that our partner will reciprocate. So I'm just going to use a personal example. So one of my love languages, as I mentioned, is physical touch, right? This is not my partner's love language. In all honesty, he's just not a very touchy-feely kind of guy. He likes his own space. He's, got his personal bubble. So if I want to connect with my partner using his love language, instead of smothering him, and that's his word, not mine, instead of smothering him with hugs and kisses, what I want to do is speak his love language, which is acts of service, right? In order for him to know how much I care about him, how important he is to me, how connected I feel to him. So the trick in really using love languages to create more intimacy, to build a deeper connection, is to not only identify our own love language, but it's actually to identify our partner's love language and to express our care, to express our love, and to express our connection using their love language. And the same is true vice versa. You can also help your partner to identify and express your love language. So, if this topic is of interest to you, you're absolutely in the right place. This is exactly what we talk about here. We talk about really using and leveraging emotional intelligence so that you're able to craft and create the life and the relationships that you are looking for. So, if you haven't yet joined us for one of our free 5-day trainings, you are completely missing out. We have another one coming up that starts on Monday. If you haven't registered, you're going to want to make sure that you do register. And if you have registered and you want to get the most out of this experience, you are also going to want to take the opportunity to connect with one of our master coaches, Brianna. She is here with me today on the live. You're going to want to connect with Brianna. She is an absolute wealth of knowledge when it comes to emotional intelligence. She works very, very closely with me. She is trained in our signature methodology, the EQ code, and she is going to be jumping on 5 to 10 minute calls with women who are really interested in getting the most out of this experience. So, we've done a couple of things that are really different this time for the 5-day event. So, the 5-day event, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is called Unlock the Success Habits of High Powered Women. We will drop the link for you. You can also head over to www.unlocksuccess.ca to grab a spot. Spaces are limited this time because we're pulling the training out of Facebook. We used to deliver these trainings in Facebook. We're pulling it out of Facebook and we're pulling it into Zoom so that we can give you more support and more coaching. Okay. So Brianna and I will be delivering this training together. I will be doing the teaching. Brianna is going to be doing a lot of the coaching and a lot of the support with you. She will be connecting with you so that she can personalize this experience for you. So, for example, if you're struggling specifically with regulating your emotions, she's going to support you with that. She's going to give you some personalized resources that will help you to really dial in the emotional mastery piece. If you struggle, for example, with communicating, if you struggle with asking for what you need, she is going to jump on a call with you. She's going to assess what your exact needs are, and she will provide some resources that are going to help you address that specifically. So our goal with this 5-day event is to actually give you some homework before we even start. We're going to give you resources and we're going to give you homework before we even start the event so that you can have a foundation so that once we start teaching, once we start delivering the coaching over the next 5 days, starting on Monday, you're already going to have a head start. You're going to have that foundation so that you can absorb the teaching, so that you can implement the skills, you can implement the strategies that we are going to provide you with. We are absolutely committed to making sure that any woman inside our Facebook group that wants access to this level of support, this level of training, this level of emotional intelligence is able to complete the 5 days having accessed the goals that they are looking for. So if you've joined us in the past, join us again. This one's going to be incredible. It's going to be in Zoom. It's going to be really, really personal. Caitlin, I'm so excited you're going to be joining us. Melanie, I'm so excited you're going to be joining us. It's going to be phenomenal, my friends. I promise you. Brianna and I are so stoked to do this together. So you're going to just want to make sure you get registered. Don't delay. Jump on a call with Brianna so that we can best support you. We start on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. If you can't make it live, no worries. Make sure you let Brianna know that. She will make sure that you get access to the replays. We will be on Zoom for the training, and then we are going to be having the after party inside our Facebook group. So make sure that you stay tuned inside there as well. That's where we're going to be doing the homework threads. That's where we're going to be doing the coaching. That's where we're going to really help you to unlock success. All right, my friends, if you have any questions, and I should say this as well, if you have any friends, family members that you think would benefit, invite them to join you. Just connect them with Brianna. She will help them get registered, but invite them to join you so that you can really solidify this training, this learning, and this level of personal expansion. All right. Hope you guys have an amazing, amazing day. And we will see you right here. No, not right here. We'll see you in Zoom on Monday. We cannot wait. Have a great day, my friends.